Good morning, folks. How are you? This is Chris Prophy again. Thoughts from the couch. And I'm thinking about this morning. I just drove my son to his crew practice. And I'm looking outside. The leaves are changing colors. It's darker outside. There's a creepy vibe. It's definitely fall in New York. And, obviously it's October. Next month is November. So I started to put it all together. October, November coming fire. And that got me thinking of the Samhain or Samhain box set. So I actually haven't pulled this out in a while. So this video is just all about opening it back up, revisiting the Samhain, however you say it, box set. So I love that cover, and interesting. Got to keep it away from the young kids, but interesting. And this came out in. I'm looking for a year, but I do not see a year on here. But it's got all their albums on it, and it's also got. It's got some unreleased stuff live from 85 and 86. And I think this is actually out of print and a little expensive to get on eBay or Discogs if you're going to buy it. I picked it up when it came out. Samhain. So how did I get into Samhain? Well, I remember specifically the Metallica album Garage Days Revisited, where they covered Last Caress and Green Hell from the Misfits. And I had never heard any songs like that. It was like 50s style rock amped up into thrash. And I'm like, who the heck is this band? And I found out, it was the Misfits. Then I started to listen to the Misfits in junior high. I had a lot of skater friends who were into the Misfits. I got really into the Misfits. I got into Glenn Danzig's vocals, just their horror-themed music, the simple arrangements, the kind of Ramones-esque, guitar work. And then, that sort of led me into Samhain. And I remember the first album that I heard from Samhain was November Coming Fire, and I specifically remember my friend had the cassette tape, and it was a black cassette tape. Like, I had never seen a black, actually. The shell was black. Sorry, I'm just trying to open up the box here with one hand. I still haven't gotten a tripod pod for my phone yet. But I remember the black cassette shell, and we popped it in, and of course I had heard the Misfits before that, but November Coming Fire came on, and I was listening to it as a kid, and I had never heard anything like it. Like, it was even different than the Misfits. It was darker. It was a more mature sound. I liked sort of the rough recording of it. It just had this just cool vibe to it. And it was always kind of tough to find the Samhain stuff. And, back then, obviously, we didn't have YouTube or any of that. So, I could only listen to Samhain if, my friends had that stuff. So, again, November Coming Fire was my first, experience with Samhain, and I loved it. And it went from there. But, revisiting this box set, I just opened it up. It comes with a comic book, which is pretty cool. I'm not really too into comic books, but it's kind of neat to have. So, it comes with that. It comes with a very cool book that has, pictures of the band. And what else does it have in here? I think information. Yep, it's got, liner notes and information about the songs and things like that. And then it's got a video, VHS, and I think this is some, just looking here, some unreleased live stuff. I haven't watched this in a while, so I'm actually not even sure what's on here. but it comes with a video. And, of course, the album. So, again, like I was saying, just revisiting this box set. And it's a tradition for me around Halloween to pull this album out, November Coming Fire. It just screams fall. It screams Halloween. It just has that cool, creepy vibe to it. This is actually, and this is my favorite Samhain album. It opens up with Diabolus 88, which is a cool instrumental. In My Grip, which is a great, just grabs you by the throat opener. Mother of Mercy, which is like one of my favorite Samhain songs. To Walk the Night, slower, sort of, definitely Danzig channels his Roy Orbison, Elvis vibe on that song. Birthright, Let the Day Begin. Let the Day Begin should have been like a huge hit. And, I know in the Samhain world it was, but like that song, just the structure of it is just a great tune. Halloween 2. So it's Samhain's version of the Misfits song Halloween. It's cool. It's got a creepier vibe to it. November's Fire, Kiss of Steel, Unbridled. And then the last song, Human Pony Girl, which is it's just a great song. It's got that galloping vibe to it. So probably politically incorrect, but I just love that song. So this whole album, from beginning to end, is a great listen, especially this time of year in the fall. November Coming Fire. What else is in here? This album, and I really don't even know how to pronounce this, so I'm not even going to try. But this album cover scared the crap out of me as a kid, because obviously the band is covered in blood, and it's just a creepy cover. And obviously if you saw this at a record store, you'd be like, this looks interesting. This is definitely not a Joan Baez album. So this is the back cover. And, I'm not going to list all the tracks in here, but I'm going to tell you some of the ones I like on here. I like Black Dream. Really good tune. All Murder, All Guts, All Fun. That kind of reminds me, it's definitely got a Misfits vibe to it. So that was what was cool about Samhain, is he didn't really lose that horror vibe that the Misfits had. He Who Cannot Be Named. Who Cannot Be Named. It's a great song. Horror Biz. I believe that was a Misfits song, right? Samhain redid it. The Shift, The Howl, and Archangel. And actually, those three songs at the end, The Shift into The Howl into Archangel, probably the three best moments on this CD. Oh, there's the CD popping out right there. What's it look like? I don't want to touch it. Oh, crap. The CDs have some cool artwork on them as well. Glenn Danzig, vocals, Eerie Von, bass, Steve Zing, drums. What did Steve Zing go on to... Did Steve Zing play in Tiger Army? I thought one of the members of Samhain went to play in... Was it London May who went to play with Tiger Army? I don't know. I think so. Anybody who can comment below on what you think about that. Yes, another classic cover. Such a family-friendly cover for Unholy Passion. I wonder what this album's about. Not as many songs on here. You've got Unholy Passion, All Hell, Moribund, The Hungry End, Misery Tomb, and I Am Misery. Just looking at these songs again, this is a very dark album. The Hungry End, Misery Tomb, I Am Misery. Yeah. Dark. But another great Samhain album. And there's the back cover work. And there is the infamous skull that became Danzig's logo. Very iconic. I tell you, Glenn Danzig, very smart guy. I don't know if he designed that skull, but you think of the Misfit logo, that skull, and then you think of the Danzig logo. Those are two iconic logos. You see them and you're like, bam, Danzig. You see kids wearing this stuff around the mall. They don't even know who Glenn Danzig is. They don't even know who the Misfits are. They don't even know who Samhain is. But I tell you, talk about imagery. That is just spot on. All right, what else is in here? Yes. Final Descent. Now, this album was produced by Glenn Danzig, and this album definitely, I think this was the last Samhain album before Glenn formed Danzig. This album definitely has a more of a Danzig vibe to it. I think the production, if I remember, the production's different on this. It's a little cleaner, a little clearer. It's not as rough sounding. So I think Danzig was moving into more of that, not again, I'm not going to say commercial vibe, but more of like a clean sounding, more like an AC/DC rockish vibe to his music. What's interesting about this is you've got an early version of Twist of Cain, which Twist of Cain was a big hit for the first Danzig album, and this has an early version of Twist of Cain. Night Chill, Descent, Death in Its Arms, Lord of the Left Hand, The Birthing, Lord of the Left Hand second version, Trouble, which I believe is a cover, and Possession. And Possession, I think it was is an early version of that Danzig song as well. Here's the back cover. I remember I had this on cassette, and I still wish I had it on cassette. I got rid of a bunch of my early cassettes. I had November Coming Fire on cassette. I had this on cassette. That was stupid. I got rid of that. And this was the live 85, 86 CD. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. It looks like one was recorded in 85 at Danceteria in New York City, and another show was recorded in 86 at the Metro in Chicago. Sound quality, not very good. Danzig's vocals come in and out. I think it's really if you look how he holds his mic, he doesn't get the best vocal performance sometimes, but I mean, definitely the energy is there, and it's kind of cool to hear Samhain back in the day. So yeah, I mean, that's the Samhain box set. I'll definitely probably be listening to that at some point this month into November. And I think I'm going to do another video on revisiting the Misfits box set, because I've got that as well. So, hopefully this kind of brought back some memories for you. If you've never heard Samhain, check him out on YouTube. If you like Danzig, if you like punk music, if you like the Ramones, if you like horror films, sort of campy type stuff, if you like just real, because Samhain moved into some of that, just guitar rock, sort of an AC/DC sort of guitar vibe. You hear it more on the first Danzig album when Rick Rubin produced that. But if you're into all that, you would love Samhain. If you like the Misfits, you're going to like Samhain. If you like Danzig, you're going to like Samhain. It's the adult version of the Misfits, if you will. All right, well, have a good day. Maybe later on I will do a revisit of the Misfits box set. All right, have a good day.